Hi, it's Kathy Schmitt, and I'm the Backyard Stamper. Today, I'd like to show you how to make this beautiful daisy card using a brand new bundle from the 2023-24 annual catalog, and the bundle is called Cheerful Daisies. One of the things that Stampin' Up! Has done for this catalog is they have named the dies the same name as the stamp set. So it will be really easy to find them in the catalog. I like to take them out of the little case that they come in and put them right inside my stamp case with my stamps. So let's get started. For supplies today, we are going to use the a half sheet of soft seed foam, and I've cut it so that it's going to be a vertical standing card. So it's 4 1/4 by 11, scored and folded at 5 1/2. Okay. And then I took a piece of designer paper from this designer pack called Hello is Irresistible. It's a 6x6 paper stack, and it's back in stock, and you can find it only online under the online exclusives at my website. So it's a gorgeous pack of cards, and I've made a ton of cards using this paper. And today I'm going to show you, we're going to use this sheet, and I'm going to show you that one 6x6 can be cut so that you get 2 daisy cards and still have one little strip left over. So here's my 6x6. I cut it at 4 inches, or sorry, 4 1/4 inches, and then I rotated it and cut it at 3. That gives me my 2 pieces for my card, and you're left with a strip, a 2-inch strip, by 2 by 6, or 1 3/4 by 6 strip left over, and I just cut it into thirds. You could cut it in half, but it makes it almost a little too wide for me for the inside piece. So I like to have no more than 3/4 of an inch, closer to a 1/2 inch for my inside little strip to decorate. So we'll need one of those. And we'll set these others aside for another card. And then I took a piece of basic white, and I cut it at 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, because on this card you'll see the white goes all the way edge to edge, and the designer series paper is going to do the same, but I've cut the white just a 1/4 inch wider so that I can see some white sticking out. And then I've got a 4 by 5 1/4 piece for my inside. This little strip is going to go on top of it, and we'll do it like this off to the side, and we'll snip it to trim it down. Okay, so that's the supplies. Plus, you're going to need a half a sheet of cardstock for my die cutting. So let's do the easy part first. This card has mostly, it's made with the die cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and mount this onto my white. And I'm going to bring it edge to edge and just have about the same amount sticking out top to bottom. So we'll set that aside. Then I'll take my cardstock base, and I'm going to attach this to my cardstock base. And, oh, before we do that, sorry, I forgot we got to do our background stamping. Oh, how quickly we forget when we're making the cards. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see, but if you'll see, I did a very subtle tone-on-tone stamping with one of the daisies. So let me get that stamp out of the case. And what I'm going to use is this little flower grouping here. And let me put it on a block. Okay, and I'm just going to subtly random stamp using the tone-on-tone soft seafoam. And I actually am stamping off as I do it. So the easiest way to do it, I just did it in the middle, stamp off. Let me put this on this side so I don't have to cross in front to show you. Pretty easy, very subtle. And then I just turned it around and did the same thing on the bottom. I did go off my paper. It's hard to see, I know, because it's so light, but I didn't want it that dark. There. And this all gets covered up, so no one is the wiser. Alrighty, now let's put that piece right on there. There. Okay, and let's do our inside piece too. What I like to do is put my adhesive on the white and then come at it, or take my other piece and position it on. And I do this if I'm using liquid glue or the tape, either one. To me, I just think it makes it a lot easier to keep my fingers clean. And I'm just going to take my scissors and snip off that little bit. All right, now I'm going to stamp my words, and I'm using a returning color called Lost Lagoon. It's brand new to me. I never had it when it was as an in color prior. And I'm just going to test it on my grid paper. All right, that's getting a good stamp. And I'm just going to, there. So my inside is done. Let's go ahead and adhere that. Let me move that out of the way, and let me move that out of the way. Okay, so we're going to open up our card. Here we go. So the card base is done, and so I'm going to set that aside right now. Bring my sample back in. Now, let me get my glue mat out. Oh, so first, let's show you how I die cut everything. So I actually ran it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine on, this is slightly less than a half a sheet, but if you just, did a half a sheet, you would have more than enough. And I laid out all my dies, and I did use some removable tape to tape them down just so they won't jump on top of each other. And I ran that through first on my platform 1, my thin die adapter plate 2, plate 3 for my sandwich, and another plate 3. Ran it through, and they were all die cut. So let me go ahead and take these off of my plate. And if you're making multiples, it's kind of easy to keep the tape on the die. and that way you're all ready to just place it right on another sheet. You know what? I'm going to put these right in my little bin so I don't lose them, because I actually misplaced one of them as I was die cutting this for you. So it'll show up when I go to clean up. All right, and we'll take out all our pieces. This daisy bundle is brand new this year. And I know we've had daisies in the past, but I personally had not bought any daisies. And I always eyeballed them in the catalog. And when I saw this bundle, I said, well, I'm glad I waited, because this is a fantastic bundle. It's so detailed, and it just makes spectacular cards. I'll show you this card in a couple of the colors when we're all done. Okay, so there's all my die cut pieces. I got them all out of the piece. Let me set all of that aside, and let's assemble. So first of all, we're going to need to make sure everything is poked out that needs to be poked out. All right, and this whole piece is together, and a lot of it's not going to show, but I'm just going to poke them out just to make sure that if I do get to see anything underneath, it's all poked out right. And I know this center will get covered, but these will show, so we'll do that. Now, and I got this one too. Now I did run through some extra leaves for my card, because my card actually needs 5 leaves, and I need 2 of this one, which is one of them that I misplaced, so hang on. There we go. And I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 centers, a big center, and 2 small ones. All right. Now, I didn't use this leaf here, so I'm just going to snip that off. To me, it hangs out a little too far for what I like for this this particular card that I designed. Well, actually, I saw this on the Demonstrator Planning Place, which is a Facebook page for Stampin' Up demonstrators, and I liked the placement, and I just switched up some of the colors and the designer paper. So, all right, so let's do this. Now I'm going to get my glue mat out and my Tombow. And actually, I want sorry, don't mean to reach in front of you. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flowers, and this first one, this is going to get popped up on that. But first, I want to assemble and put my little cover on. And what I did, I experimented to see how many pop-ups I needed, but if you put too many, it just sits too high, and then it looks a little unnatural. So I'm going to just run my multi-purpose glue that I've transferred into a fine tip glue pen bottle. And I'm just going to put a little bit on in the center. I kind of want the edges to be loose so it looks organic. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this one and just glue a little bit, leaving my petals free to lift up a little bit. All right. And see how it just those 2 layers make my daisy start coming alive. And the last little one reaching up to the sky is going to be this one here. And I'm going to just, you know, it doesn't have to be anything exact on the daisy layers. They are just, it's just for dimension. All right, so now what I want to do is, let me put these over here because I don't mind if they have a little glue on the bottom. What I'm going to do is pop those up with my dimensionals, which I have right here. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to take the big one on these two. Actually, I'm going to do this one too. And I guess I didn't need to do all three at the same time. Now, the daisy has like a taller side and a shorter side, so you just are really matching them up. So that one goes there. See how nice that little dimension makes, but you see why I say you don't need to have 3 layers of dimensionals on there. And the same thing, a little shorter side and longer petals on that one. And there's my daisy coming to life. All right, now let's move this out of the way. And I'm going to set that aside and bring back in my scrap paper. And I'm just going to stamp my centers and my leaves. So let me cap my ink. All right, so I've got my 2 little stamps from the stamp set for my centers. And this is a new color called pecan pie. And there's a really great thing that, you know, they always have the labels on the back, but this year, starting this year, there's a second English one. So I always put the blank one on the inside, but now I have the writing so I can see which color it is. Sometimes when you have multiple ink pads open at the same time, it's hard to tell them apart. Okay, so let's see here. And what I wanted to do with this is I'm going to use the big one for all of my centers. There. And that works great. Then I didn't have to worry about lining up the little one. The little one actually fits inside here, but there's not a die for it, so I guess you can just stamp right on there, but I should have done that before I glued them all together, is what I'm trying to say. All right, and we'll bring that back in. Now, I did pop up all of the centers, and I'm almost thinking this one should not be. I like this one popped up. I don't mind that one. I really think I'm gonna not pop that one up. So let's do the pop-ups that I know I wanna do first. So I'm gonna put my pop-up right where I know I need to cover. And then we'll put that like that. And then this one here, I'm going to put there. And I kind of don't want it popped up. I think I like it not popped up. And then this one, so I can either keep it not popped up and glue it down. I kind of think I'm going to glue it down. sometimes you just get building higher and higher, and pretty soon it doesn't look natural. So let me just put a little bit of glue in the center there, and I'll put that like that. This one here, I'll put a little bit of glue. There, I think that looks good. All right, so now what we're, whoopsies, sorry, I moved it, oopsie. Guess what? There's a stamp for that. Oopsie daisy. So sorry, I moved it before it was dry. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my card. And again, I'm just going to kind of glue in the middle because I need to get under to attach my leaves. And I'm going to put it a little bit like that. Okay, I like that. Now for my leaves, I am going to stamp these using Lost Lagoon. Lost Lagoon and Soft Sea Foam are both in this, one of the coordinating colors in this piece, but also in the whole pack. So that's why I picked those. And I should have one more leaf. There it is. I see it. Oh, in my words. Okay, so let me get my Lost Lagoon back and my leaf. And photopolymer makes it so easy to just stamp right over the top. So I die cut it on my sheet. Then I'm going to stamp right over the top of them. And any mess ups I can trim or hide. Yep. I'll turn that one around and there. And while we have our green out, let's go ahead and do our greeting for the outside tag. And this is wishing you the brightest birthday. Okay, so let me scooch these out of the way. I can tell that's crooked, but you know what? It looks fine because it's cursive writing and it's loopy, and I have a bow for it anyways, so I'm going with it. All right, so now to attach these leaves, let's move that out of the way. I'm going to use my liquid glue, but as you can see, I got some that I didn't quite stamp exactly right, so I'm just gonna bring my snip in and cut that off, and that looks good. So I can put one there. This one I stamped pretty well, so I can put that one there. This one, I'm gonna just do a little smidge trimming like that. And I'll tuck it under like there, and then it hides that spot that I almost missed. And then a nice leaf up here. And this one, I'm pretty far off, but once I trim it, it's gonna fit perfectly with the smaller daisy. So it's gonna look like it was meant to be. So let me attach these. And I'm sliding them under the whole tulip, not just the popped up part. Because remember, we only glued it in the center, so I can get right under it and do, and put my leaves where I need to. see this one here. Oh. All right, and then this little guy was wanting to be pestersome. And we'll tuck that one so the petal kind of covers where it was not stamped exactly right. Okay, and I've got my wishing you the brightest birthday, and I'm going to pop that up. Like that. And I've also done a bow with my linen thread, and I could put it there because it's a little crooked there or higher, so I could do that, or yeah, I think I will. That will be a good way to hide it. So I've got my little glue dot box, and I'm going to take my glue dot and roll it like a hot dog and kind of roll it into a ball, actually. And put that down and put my linen thread right on top of it. I did try to see if I liked it with a double bow, and it was just a little too much because it just is so light and pretty, and I like a longer tail on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and leave them longer than normal. And our last step for this card is Wink of Stella. And so I put it pretty much everywhere. Can you see the sparkles on that? I feel like I squeezed a little too much out. Hold on a minute. Let me get one that's not quite so runny. Because if you squeeze too much, then you get a blob. There, that's much better. Go over that where it was blobby and get it unblobby. There. Very nice. Now, I didn't do the leaves or anything. I really wanted the focus of the Wink of Stella on the just the petals that are risen up. And then for the last embellishment, I have my Dazzling rhinestones, which they were right here a minute ago. Here they are. Basic rhinestone jewels. Rhinestone basic jewels. That's what they are. Okay, and I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool and put some on. And I like that I can use some of the bigger ones. Some, you know, for me, that's the harder one to use. You can always find a spot for the little ones. So I try to put at least one big one on a card. And because it's next to two things that are popped up, it won't tend to poke through your envelope. So there you have it. Let me move this out of the way, put my stuff away. And there are my two cards. I'll put it this way so that the bows aren't running into each other. There. And if you need any supplies to make today's cards, my website is backyardstamper.com. My online store 24/7 is kathyschmitt.stampinup.net. And if you'd like to subscribe to my newsletter, please email me backyardstamper@gmail.com, and I will put you on the list to get my newsletter. This catalog here goes live on May 2nd, so 2 days from now, and we will finally get to open it up. But I do want to let you know that items that are on the last chance list on this, in this catalog, and the January to June catalog, which I don't have right next to me. Oh yes, no, I don't. And some of them are 60% off. You can order those until midnight of May 1st. So I will tell you that some items are going to go up in price. So you may want to think about if there's any staples that you need. Glue, basic cardstock, ink refills. Those are things that are going to go up in price. And but I will tell you, there are so many adorable stamp sets in this catalog. I can't wait to show you. Let me show you the other cards I made with the same design, but I switched up the colors. So I made Daffodil Delight, and I made Petal Pink. So, and these, all the paper was from this package of paper, which is, you can't find in the catalog. It's Hello Irresistible, and the code number is 161139. And it is a gorgeous pack of paper. It goes with another bundle, but I thought it went perfectly with these cards. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and follow. And let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Thanks. Bye.